And hello again. So we just talked about the average rate of change from one x value to another x value, and we're actually going to do that again in this video, but we're going to be adding a little bit more abstraction here. So this video is called the average rate of change, the AROC, from x to x plus h. So instead of going from, like in the last video, we went from 9 to 10 or 9 to 9.5, we're going to go from some unknown value x to a little bit more than x, from x to x plus h. To keep things a little bit easier, I'm actually going to let x be 9 here, just so there's not too many variables floating around, but I'm going back to the same function. This, my distance function is given by the square root of x, where x is measured in hours. And I want to find my average speed from 9 hours to 9 plus h hours. Interesting question. Pause the video, try this out if you'd like. Okay, wonderful. So let's see, what would we do here? So my points are the following points. The first point is 9 comma something. 9 comma what? Well, the function is the square root of x, just like it was in the last video, so the square root of 9 is still 3, I'm pretty sure. So my first point is 9 comma 3. My second point, however, has an x-coordinate of 9 plus h. And what is the y-coordinate? Well, if I just plug 9 plus h into my function, the square root of x, I'm going to get the square root of 9 plus h. Hope that's clear for everybody. So these are my 2 points. And the average rate of change is just simply the slope of the line going through these 2 points. So it's going to be y2 root 9 plus h minus y1, which is 3, over x2, which is 9 plus h, minus x1, which is 9. Everybody okay with this? Great. You can do a little bit of cleanup here. You'll notice that the numerator, there's not really anything I can do. I can write this as root 9 plus h minus 3, and can't really do anything with that because math. But in the denominator, I've got 9 plus h minus 9, and look at that, those 9s just cancel each other out, and so I just get an h in the denominator. So my average speed was this many miles per hour. Root 9 plus h minus 3 over h. I urge you to go back to the previous video and look at what happens when, for instance, when h is 1, then that means we're going from 9 hours to 10 hours. And plug 1 in your formula here and see if that's comparable to what happened when we did this in the previous video. Look at what happens when h is 0.5. We also did that. I guess you did that on your own in the last video. Look at what happens when h is 0.1 and see what's happening here as h changes. So h is a variable now. H is basically a measure of how far away from 9 we are. Okay, let's try one more example. Nice short video today. I'm so nice. So suppose that I travel this many miles, x squared plus 3x minus 5, every x hours. What was my average speed from 2 hours to 2 plus h hours? So again, I'll remind you of what the formula is for the secant line. Remember, as you're going from a to b, it's always f of b minus f of a all over b minus a. And so in this case, my function, f of x, is this x squared plus 3x minus 5 business. And my a is 2, and my b is 2 plus h. And so when I plug all this stuff in here, I'm getting something like, f of 2 plus h minus f of 2, that's the difference of my y values, divided by 2 plus h minus 2, the difference of the x values. Does that make sense for everybody? I hope so. You'll notice again in the denominator, 2 and negative 2 cancel each other out, so I really just have h in the denominator, which is kind of nice. And because I know what my function is, I can plug 2 and 2 plus h into it. I'll leave this to you to do this algebra, but you're basically going to get, I'll write it out, but I'm not going to do all the work for you. You plug 2 plus h into your function for x, you get 2 plus h quantity squared, plus 3 times 2 plus h minus 5. That's me plugging 2 plus h into the function. And then I'm going to subtract whatever f of 2 is. I'll leave that to you to figure out. I'll probably just put this as a question on play pause it. And then I'm going to divide this whole thing by h. And so there might be some simplification you can do there. That would be really nice if you could. And once you've got it all simplified, you've got a wonderful answer. Okay, we're going to do more of these in class, but I hope that this makes sense. So rather than going from 2 to 3 or 2 to 6, we're going from 2 to 2 plus h. We're going from 7 to 7 plus h. We're going from one number to just a little bit bigger than that number. Okay, great. I hope this makes sense, and I hope that you enjoyed the video. I will see you soon.